Women never forget the man who does these 5 things, because those things go beyond charm, beyond looks, beyond what you have in your bank account, and they touch the deepest part of human connection. You can meet 1,000 people in your life, you can go through relationships, friendships, moments that come and go, but the man who shows up in these 5 ways will never be erased from her heart or her memory. It's not about being perfect, it's not about knowing every right move, it's about being intentional and consistent with how you treat her, how you value her, and how you show up when it really matters. The first thing is listening. And I don't mean the shallow version of listening where you're nodding while your mind is somewhere else. I mean listening in a way that makes her feel like she is the only person in the world in that moment. When she talks about her day, when she shares something that excites her, when she opens up about something that scares her, your attention is undivided. You put the phone down, you lean in, you hear not just her words but the tone behind them, the emotion underneath them, the pauses she takes when she's uncertain, the laughter she can't contain when she's proud. Because when you listen like that, she feels seen, she feels valued, she feels like her voice matters. Do you know how rare that is? People are distracted all the time. We're in a world where half the time people are scrolling while they're nodding at you. And so when you are the man who gives her that full presence, she never forgets it. She'll replay those moments in her mind years later because the way you made her feel was unforgettable. The second thing is making her feel safe. Safety is more than locking a door or walking her to the car at night. Safety is emotional. Safety is being the person she knows she can break down around without being judged, the person she can cry with, laugh with, dream with, and not feel like she has to hide any part of herself. Emotional safety is being steady, not exploding at small things, not using her weaknesses against her, not mocking her when she shows you the parts of herself that the rest of the world doesn't see. It's in how you respond when she's vulnerable, when she tells you something that took courage to admit. If you hold that with respect, if you prove that you're not going to turn it into ammunition, you create trust. And when a woman feels safe with you, she never forgets it. Even years later, she'll remember you as the one who gave her that security in her soul. The third thing is supporting her growth. Every woman has goals, even if they're quiet goals, even if she doesn't say them out loud at first. Maybe it's career ambitions, maybe it's fitness, maybe it's personal growth, maybe it's something she's been afraid to chase. Too many men feel threatened by that, too many men want to dim her shine so they can feel brighter. But the man who looks at her and says, "Go for it, I believe in you, I've got your back, let's figure it out together," that man is unforgettable. She remembers the one who clapped for her wins, who pushed her when she doubted herself, who never made her feel like she had to choose between being with him and being her full self. When you're the man who amplifies her, who celebrates her, who fuels her instead of holding her back, you leave an imprint she will never let go of. The fourth thing is respect. Respect is not just about politeness, it's about boundaries, it's about honoring her individuality, it's about treating her as a full human being with a life, a mind, a body that belongs to her and her alone. Respect is when she says no and you accept it, period. Respect is when she has space she needs, when she wants to set limits, when she has her own time. And you don't guilt her for it. Respect is when you value her opinions, even when they differ from yours. It's when you recognize that she is not an extension of you, she is her own person. Respect is not glamorous, but it's unforgettable. Because she will never forget the man who treated her with dignity in a world where so many others tried to reduce her, silence her, or control her. That respect becomes the anchor for everything else, and once it's been experienced, it cannot be forgotten. And the fifth thing is appreciation. Daily appreciation, not just on holidays, not just when it's easy or expected, but in the everyday rhythm of life. When you notice how she's trying, when you acknowledge the little details, when you say thank you for the small things, when you remind her how beautiful she looks without needing a reason. Appreciation is about never letting her feel taken for granted. It's about those simple moments, grabbing her favorite snack on the way home, complimenting her when she's not expecting it, letting her know you notice the effort she puts into the relationship, the family, her career, herself. It's not about being dramatic, it's about being consistent. Because appreciation is fuel, and when she feels valued like that, she never forgets it. She'll remember you as the man who saw her, not just once, but always. And here's the truth. These 5 things, listening, safety, support, respect, appreciation, are not complicated. They don't cost money. They don't require being the best-looking man in the room. They don't require being the funniest or the smartest. They require presence, consistency, and heart. Most men don't do them. Most men get distracted. Most men let their ego get in the way. Most men think big gestures matter more than daily consistency. But the men who practice these 5 things, they stand out forever. And that's why women never forget them. Because at the end of the day, people never forget how you made them feel, and these 5 things make her feel heard, safe, encouraged, respected, and appreciated. And once she feels that from you, you'll live in her memory forever. Women never forget the man who truly listens with full presence, because listening is one of the most powerful forms of love, and yet it is one of the most neglected. Most of the time people are not really listening, they are waiting for their turn to speak, they are distracted, they are half engaged, and they are giving surface-level responses that make the other person feel like their words are not worth full attention. But when a man listens with his whole focus, when he locks in and shows through his body language and his silence and his eye contact that he is right there with her, something shifts. She feels like her voice matters, she feels like her thoughts and emotions are worthy of space, and she feels a connection that goes deeper than words. Listening like this is rare in a world filled with noise, and because it is rare it becomes unforgettable. Imagine her sharing a story about her day, something that might seem small, but instead of brushing it off or giving a short nod, you lean in, you ask questions, you notice the excitement in her tone, you mirror her energy back. That moment makes her feel valued because you are not only hearing the facts but also the feeling behind them. The man who listens like this becomes the man she trusts with her secrets, the one she feels safe around when she needs to unload her fears, the one she will always remember because he created an environment where her words were never dismissed or minimized. Listening with presence is also about noticing what she is not saying, catching the pause in her sentence, recognizing the change in her tone, and holding space for her to go deeper if she chooses. It is about showing that you are not there to fix, not there to control, not there to dominate, but simply there to understand and connect. That kind of listening makes her feel seen in a way that lingers long after the conversation ends. It becomes a memory that roots itself because it is not the big gestures that carve into the heart, it is the everyday moments where someone proves through their presence that you matter, that your words matter, and that your experience matters. Women never forget the man who makes them feel emotionally and physically safe because safety is the foundation of trust and intimacy. Physical safety matters, of course, in the small gestures like walking her to her car at night, making sure the doors are locked, stepping closer when she feels uneasy in a crowd, but emotional safety is even more powerful. Emotional safety is created when she knows she can open up without being judged, when she can express her fears or insecurities without them being used against her, when she can cry or laugh or fall apart and know that she will not be shamed for it. A man who provides that sense of safety becomes someone she can fully relax around, someone she doesn't have to put up walls with, someone she can let her guard down with after spending so much of her life having to be strong and guarded in the outside world. Safety shows up in the steadiness of his reactions, in the way he stays calm instead of escalating, in the way he responds with empathy instead of criticism. It is in the way he proves over time that he is dependable, that he is not going to disappear when things get hard, that he can hold space for her struggles without making it about himself. Feeling safe means she can tell him about her dreams without fear of mockery, about her mistakes without fear of rejection, about her pain without fear of dismissal. It means she can be her authentic self without editing or shrinking. Physical safety combined with emotional safety creates a sense of peace in her presence, and that peace is unforgettable because it is rare. Too many people live on edge, wondering when they'll be judged, wondering when their vulnerabilities will be thrown back at them, wondering when their trust will be broken. But the man who provides safety, who proves he will not break her when she is soft, who proves he can be strong enough to handle her storms, who proves he values her well-being more than his ego, becomes the man she never forgets because he gave her a refuge in a world that often feels harsh and unkind. Women never forget the man who supports their growth and dreams because that kind of encouragement is a rare gift in a world where too many people feel threatened by ambition or try to hold others back out of fear or insecurity. Every woman carries inside her a set of hopes, visions, and quiet whispers of what she could be or achieve, and often those dreams are tucked away because she has been told they are too big, too unrealistic, or not practical. When a man steps into her life and instead of dimming that spark, he fuels it, something unforgettable happens. He becomes the voice that tells her she can do it when doubt creeps in, he becomes the partner who celebrates her progress instead of competing with it, he becomes the safe place where she can lay out her goals without fear of being belittled. Support looks like listening to her ideas without dismissing them, asking her what she needs instead of assuming, encouraging her to take the leap when she hesitates, and reminding her of her own strength when she forgets it. It shows up in the little things, like proofreading her work when she is nervous to share it, or cheering her on when she steps out of her comfort zone, or simply reminding her that failure does not make her less worthy. It is about standing beside her, not in front of her, not behind her, but beside her, as she walks the path she has chosen for herself. A woman never forgets the man who allowed her to rise without clipping her wings, who was secure enough in himself to see her shine without needing to dim her, who looked at her dreams not as competition but as a shared journey. That kind of support builds a level of respect and gratitude that cannot fade because it is tied to her sense of becoming, tied to her moments of courage, tied to her victories, both big and small. She will always remember the man who helped her become more of herself instead of less. Women never forget the man who supports their growth and dreams because that kind of encouragement is a rare gift in a world where too many people feel threatened by ambition or try to hold others back out of fear or insecurity. Every woman carries inside her a set of hopes, visions, and quiet whispers of what she could be or achieve, and often those dreams are tucked away because she has been told they are too big, too unrealistic, or not practical. When a man steps into her life and instead of dimming that spark, he fuels it, something unforgettable happens. He becomes the voice that tells her she can do it when doubt creeps in, he becomes the partner who celebrates her progress instead of competing with it, he becomes the safe place where she can lay out her goals without fear of being belittled. Support looks like listening to her ideas without dismissing them, asking her what she needs instead of assuming, encouraging her to take the leap when she hesitates, and reminding her of her own strength when she forgets it. It shows up in the little things, like proofreading her work when she is nervous to share it, or cheering her on when she steps out of her comfort zone, or simply reminding her that failure does not make her less worthy. It is about standing beside her, not in front of her, not behind her, but beside her, as she walks the path she has chosen for herself. A woman never forgets the man who allowed her to rise without clipping her wings, who was secure enough in himself to see her shine without needing to dim her, who looked at her dreams not as competition but as a shared journey. That kind of support builds a level of respect and gratitude that cannot fade because it is tied to her sense of becoming, tied to her moments of courage, tied to her victories, both big and small. She will always remember the man who helped her become more of herself, instead of less.